Good afternoon. It's low-key been a minute since I've posted, ever since I've been in front of this G7X. It's been a minute ever since I posted on YouTube. I've been posting on Instagram and TikTok just about every single, well, TikTok every single day, Instagram multiple times a week, so follow me there. That being said, I did post a TikTok about 3 or 4 days ago talking about something, and I said I was gonna make a YouTube video about it because I couldn't condense it all down into just a TikTok, which is exactly what I'm doing now, and that's where this idea came from. I was gonna make a full vlog today, and then I was gonna put this as the second half of it. I decided against that because I went to the gym today as per usual and I had chest and shoulders. I have posted chest and shoulders a lot lately, and at a certain point I'm gonna need like some breaks in between when I post that because I do the same thing every time right now. So how fucking interesting can it possibly be? So we went ahead and vaulted the vlog for the day, but I still have this. And what is this? This is gonna be talking about the dangers of alcohol in relation to lifting. Because there's a common consensus for the most part that you're not able to drink and make the gains at the same time. And while that is pretty true, there are some things to note. There's a lot of stuff that people don't understand about drinking. And as an avid partier myself, hold on, let me back up, right? Okay? Alright, hold on. I'm gonna get raw here. I'm gonna get real, alright? I'm gonna talk about actual life. This is only gonna take like 30 seconds. But, as of late, I have been chatting with this woman, alright? This woman found me through TikTok, okay? That's all fine and well. That being said, I'm talking to her. Things progress, we move to a FaceTime call. And one of the first comments that was made to me was she thought I was an alcoholic. And upon further reflection, I realized why I come off that way. Because, to be quite honest, I post a lot about partying. But the reality of it is, and I've stated it a million times in my YouTube videos, I just said that's so weird, whatever, I'm gonna leave it in. I've said it so many times, I am not somebody that's partying like multiple times a week or drinking multiple times a week or anything like that. I literally went for the last like 7 months pretty sober, like not really doing anything because there was nothing to do. And I'm not faulting her for thinking that. I am faulting myself for portraying myself in that light, and I don't really know if there's a way to turn that around at the moment. So I'm just gonna kind of have to accept that people think that I am legitimately an alcoholic, apparently, when that's not the case. And the first stage of recovery is denial, I know that. But, dude, I'm not. I just like to party, and alcohol goes hand in hand with that. Because there's no way I'm walking into a bar sober. Like, I can't do that. If you can do that, that's great. There's a 0% chance that I could do that because I would rather go and do literally anything the fuck else. That's just not, that's not it for me. The people that I am with at that point, they have to be also sober. Because I'm not dealing with a bunch of drunk fucks and I'm sober. I did that already, alright? I went through that when I was like 18, 19 years old. I don't feel like going through that again. But anyway, this is actually gonna be a pretty informative video. I'm happy to make this. It's things that I've learned over time. And, you know, what are my credentials? I don't know, dude. At this point, just me going to the fucking gym every day and cutting 40 pounds in a month while retaining most of my muscle. Like, that's it. That's all I got, alright, dude? I'm not gonna come on here and lie and say that I have this, and this. Like, dude, no, alright? But I'm also not here trying to fucking sell you something, alright? I'm just giving you the information. And there's a lot of things that people don't understand about this. That being said, I'm gonna need to write this down because obviously, pen to paper is the most professional way to do something. I mean, I'm sitting here rocking the collared shirt with the watch. All right, I'm on the business vibes today. That is the simple fact of the matter. And if anybody has a problem with that, then you can get the fuck off of this video. That's as simple as that. Now, what are we gonna title this chart? Alcohol. All caps. But we know what we mean when we say that. Alcohol. Alright, now let me hop in the lab here for a second and like remember everything that I need to talk about, because if I don't have bullet points, I'm gonna forget, and I'm probably still gonna forget even with this, but at least this lowers the chances of that happening. So give me a minute. Alright, I'm not gonna overcomplicate this. I wrote down pretty much everything that came to mind, and it's only like 9 things, but they're big things, okay? Alright. Guys, what's happening? I was just calling to, you come back Saturday, right?
Yeah, but I don't think we'll be back home until like 12:30.
That's fine.
11 to 2 p.m. probably.
That's fine. I wasn't expecting a session on Saturday. I was seeing if, let me double check again. I might need to swing like a 5:30 session Tuesday, and I was wondering, it's either Tuesday or Monday, and I was wondering it.
Yeah, Monday, sure.
Yeah, it'll be a 5:30 set. Oh, wait, yeah. Monday, 5:30. Tuesday would be like 6:30 if you're down.
Monday I can do that.
Alright, cool. Alright, now that I've successfully lost my train of thought. These are all big things, alright? These are pretty massive things. And I mentioned some of them in the TikTok, but I'm gonna bring them up again. So number one, disrupt sleep. And I can go into this a little bit deeper now that I'm not so, like, pressed on time. When you drink, people tend to drink until they pass out, okay? And I don't mean that, like, you have to have 40 drinks and, like, you're on an alcoholic level or whatever. It's just you drink so much and it tires you out, and it's not until you just knock out and forget falling asleep, wake up the next morning and you think you were in the deepest sleep of your life, come to find out you actually slept worse. Like, way worse than normal. Even if it felt like you were in a deep sleep, you were not. And why is that important to lifting? Because sleep is the most important thing when it comes to lifting. If you took a group of people and one of these people was, you know, they were all training the same, but one of them was eating 100 grams of protein a day, the other one was eating 180 grams of protein a day, and then the other one was fucking off. He was eating 30 grams of protein a day. The person eating 100 grams of protein a day, getting 8 to 9 hours of sleep a night, versus the one getting 180 grams of protein with only 4 to 5 hours of sleep per night, is going to make more gains and is going to recover better, I think I worded that right, than the one that is sleeping 4 to 5 hours a night, doing 150 grams, or 180 grams, sorry, of protein. I know that's a very small thing, but a lot of people are under the impression that if you eat and you train right, the sleep can kind of take a step back, when that's not the case at all. That couldn't be further from the truth. And 1 or 2 nights of bad sleep, yeah, that's fine. But if you're consistently getting bad sleep, that's another thing. That's why when you drink and you combine that with these other things, you have to understand what's going to happen to you. And that falls into the next point of disrupting recovery. What I mean by that is it disrupts protein synthesis. What the hell is that? I said the same thing in my TikTok. It's basically how your muscles recover. Now, when you go to the gym, obviously you tear your muscles down and then they rebuild back up, all right? And they come back stronger. To put it short, when you drink, even one drink disrupts that. It makes, I don't know exactly what, like, the technological term for it is, but I just know that it slows down that recovery, and it hurts the recovery of the muscles that you hit that day. So, in an ideal world, if you're gonna go out and you're gonna drink, do whatever, you want it to be on, like, a 2-day period where you don't go to the gym on the day that you're going out, and then you don't go to the gym the next day. Most of the time, that doesn't happen, and I'm not gonna sit here and be a hypocrite. 99% of the time, I lift before I go out. Mentally, I can't help it. I don't like skipping the gym. I hate skipping the gym. But it is a literal fact. That's what happens. Next point, dehydrates you. I don't care if you're sitting there chugging water. I don't care if you're sitting there chasing shots with water. I don't care if you had a fucking gallon of water after you started drinking for 6 hours. You're still dehydrated. As I said in the TikTok, you're gonna be ahead of the people that are not drinking water and keeping themselves up, you know, as they're drinking. That's fine. But you are still going to disrupt that. That's just the simple fact of the matter. There's nothing you can do about that. If alcohol is poison, that's the way that it works. And if you're dehydrated, you're not recovering the same way at all. So it still falls into point 2 in a way. Number 4, this is not really like lifting related, but it's more so the feeling. Disrupts cognitive functions. So even if you're not like hungover the next day, which is most of the time that's how I am, I'm more affected by the fact that I went to sleep so fucking late and didn't sleep enough the nights where I go out. But there have been times where I've been deathly hungover and I can't even eat the next day until like 6 p.m. That doesn't happen very often now at all. Like very, very once in a blue moon. That being said, even if I'm not fully hungover, I still feel slow the next day. And I don't care what anybody says, oh, I can handle it. That's fine. You can handle drinking. That's great. I'm the type of person, I don't throw up when I drink. I have not thrown up from drinking since I was 15 years old. I never hit that limit. But you're still going to be a little bit more slow the next day. That's just the way that is. So that's another thing to keep in mind. Just be aware of this. This next point is very obvious. Disrupts memory. It's where blacking out comes from. That's something that I tend to do. That's not really related to lifting. It's just a negative effect of alcohol. Disrupting your memory is pretty fucking big. Next point, causes binge eating. I know damn well there's been times where you guys have gone out, it's fucking 1 to 3 in the morning, and you're like, oh my god, I just need to eat something, and you will take anything at that point, okay? I cannot tell you how many times I've ended up in a McDonald's drive-thru ordering 2 double cheeseburgers, a large fry, and then maybe for the hell of it, a chocolate milkshake, because I'm so fucked up, starving, and I will just take anything at that point. And don't get me wrong, it hits like a freight train when I eat it at that point. It's fantastic. But those are excess calories for sure. If you are looking to cut, not only are you getting calories from drinking, you're also getting a ton from the binge eating, and you don't even realize that you're doing it. I'm guilty of it myself. I do the exact same thing. So that's just something to keep in mind. Is one night of that going to kill you if you're on track 95% of the time? Outside of that, no, it's not going to make a huge difference. You're going to be fine, and you don't have to feel like, oh, I can't, like, when you go out and drink and you have a good time, like, don't be so caught up in, like, trying to track the calories, unless you're fucking competing for bodybuilding, which at that point, why the hell are you drinking? Then you don't have anything to worry about in that sense. It's not something where the gym has to be a full commitment and your life has to, you have to be miserable all the time. You get used to the dieting and you get used to the disciplinary, like, strictness of it. But if I go out, I got a comment on one of my videos a couple, like, actually probably a week or so ago, and they asked me if I track calories when I drink, which it wasn't a bad comment, like, it was a legitimate question to ask. But then I thought about it and I was like, wow, there's people that actually do legitimately track calories when they drink. You probably don't need to do that. Unless you're drinking beer, there's a very simple way to alleviate the problem of having to do that, and that's going to be switching to straight vodka when you drink and not chasing it with bullshit, no mixed drinks or tequila. That's how you do that. And also your hangover is not going to be nearly as bad because you didn't mix liquor with a bunch of sugar. That's part of where that hangover gets so violent from. Does it suck taking straight shots of vodka or tequila? Yeah. But once you're like 3 or 4 deep, you start getting used to it and you're fine. Now, the other 2 points, I don't even think they're worth mentioning, so I'm not going to. That being said, okay, Gannon, you just fucking mentioned everything that's bad about drinking. Now, how do I drink then? And I'm gonna be as upfront about this, you know, and I'm gonna be as straightforward about it as I possibly can. If you are someone who cannot go out and you can't have a fun night and then lock right back in, oh fuck, my battery. I knew that was gonna happen. Anyway, what I was saying was, if you're the type of person who cannot go out, drink, have a fun night, and lock right the fuck back in the very next day, unless you're on vacation or something like that, then I hate to break it to you, you're probably somebody that can't drink. If the gym is that important to you, if you wanna go and have as much fun as humanly possible, I am not going to be the one to tell you that you can't do that. You can live your life however the fuck you want to. But going to the gym and being consistent in the gym is something that enhances your life. It just simply is. The 2 huge things, you feel better and you look better. Okay, that's the way that is. I know that I make jokes all the time to my friends. I make jokes with the content that I post that, like, you know, drinking is great, partying is so much fun. And while it is, I would never ever let myself get to a point where, I don't think I would anyway, I can't predict the future and I hope to God that it would never get like that, but I would really do everything in my power, and I believe that I have done everything in my power to make sure that that does not come as a priority over top of things that need to get done. One of those things being me going to the gym and me lifting and progressing every single day just as much as I can. I know you can't progress every single solitary session. You get what I mean. I would not let that come over top of that, as much as I banter and make jokes about it. And other people shouldn't either. It should not be something that is your life. It should be something that is a part of your life. And at one point, I am going to completely stop drinking. I will not have another drop of alcohol. That's something that I've said to myself. There's no point for me to at a certain age. I'm not gonna be a fucking partier when I'm 40. Like, no shade, but shade, I'm not gonna be Jason Nash. So, as a recommendation to people, I don't have this stuff written down. This is just gonna be off the top of my head. Things that I would recommend: get your fucking diet in line. I'm not saying that you have to be miserable on your diet I'm not saying that you have to eat nothing but fucking chicken and rice on your diet. The simple fact of the matter is, have a mental note of the calories that you can consume on a weekly basis, because some people take it as every single solitary day, I need to make sure I'm at this calorie count, and if I'm not, then I failed and there's no point in doing this. If you're consistent 95% of the time, and by that I mean if you're consistent 5-6 days of the week, and then one day you have a cheat meal or two, and you're working out 4 to 6 times a week hard, you're doing it right, you're gonna be fine. There's not a huge deal. The only time where that little minute detail matters is if you're bodybuilding and if you are about to hop on stage. That's where you need to start looking at calories instead of tracking them in like, this could be stupid of me to say it, I don't really track my calories as like single calories. It's not like eating 1 extra calorie is gonna do anything, but me eating 150 to 200 extra calories every day is going to make a difference for me. I'm not competing right now, so I'm just living a regular life. So you don't have to be super uptight about it and make yourself miserable and overthink it and overanalyze it. That's not the way that it works. So if you're doing that right and you drink, then that's one thing. And again, I recommend drinking straight liquor, not fucking beers, dude. Like, I'm being dead serious. Beers have a lot of calories. If you drink 12 beers, you just got so many carbs and so many calories. I would just not do that. If you're gonna have a beer or two, then like it's one thing, but if you're trying to get fucked up, that means you're gonna be having a lot of drinks, and that means you're gonna be having like minimum 6-7 beers. I would not suggest that. You're gonna get a fucking gut, dude. Another thing I would say, make sure your sleep is on point most of the time, and that can be really hard for people, and I've struggled with it myself, falling asleep at night. Life happens. There's a lot of shit that goes on in people's heads, and that can keep you up at night. It can keep you really stressed. If you start kind of training yourself and training your mind to shut off at a certain point in the day, it's going to be super beneficial, and I know that's easier said than done. If you keep practicing it, if you keep trying to do it, you're going to be able to eventually, most of the time, you're going to be successful when you get into bed at a certain time. And I tried to get in bed at the same time, around the same time, every single night. I used to be the type of person who was going to sleep like 2-3 a.m. every single night. I don't do that now at all. And that was because of life. That was because I was super stressed out, and that was the point in the day where I was able to not have to talk to people, and it finally gave me like peace and quiet. So I can understand why people do that sometimes, why people stay up super late. And it can be really hard to snap out of that as well. It can get super challenging to start forcing yourself to get up early and be on a regular schedule, but it's worth it. You're gonna feel a lot better. That's another thing. Knowing what I said about the binge eating part, I'm not gonna sit here and tell you to take that into account every single time that you drink, because the way that I see it, like, I don't drink unless I've eaten, okay? I don't understand why people drink on an empty stomach and then they're like, well, I don't understand why I got so fucked up and why I feel sick. It's like, dude, because you didn't eat. Like, you're putting poison into your body, dude. That's what's gonna happen. I don't drink unless I've eaten. Like, I don't wake up and drink. I'm not gonna fucking do that, dude. So make sure you've eaten and hit your macros like normal on the days where you're gonna go out and you're gonna drink. You're gonna feel way better because your stomach's full at that point. You're gonna be able to drink more. It's gonna digest easier. You're not gonna be all fucked up out of nowhere. It's not gonna hit you like a train, unless it's tequila, because there's pretty much no way around that. And then if you're fucking starving, dude, if you've been out for the night, like, your body is still burning calories when you're out. I don't know how other people do it, but dude, if I go out, like, I'm going from bar to bar, like, I'm walking around, I'm getting amped up, I'm fucking dancing, I'm doing stupid shit, like, you're burning these calories off. It's not a huge deal if you cheat one night. Just take into fucking account that you can't fall off because of one night. Like, you have to get right back onto your strict ass diet the next day. As much as it sucks, you're gonna feel terrible, you're gonna feel groggy, you're gonna want to just fucking lay in bed all day. Like, I get it, but you can't if you're serious about this. As I mentioned earlier too, the next thing, and I know this one's really hard depending on people's schedules, but I would try and set it up. If you're gonna go out for the night and you know it's gonna be a crazy night, the way that I try and do it is I split my workout up for that week, or make my split that week, so that I hit everything that I needed to hit, and then I can take that extra rest day off that day after. So going into the next week, things are still in line. I don't know how to articulate that the perfect way. Most of the time, if I have like a crazy night, now if I go out and I have like 2 drinks or something like that, I'm not gonna fucking take the gym off the next day. That's stupid. I'm not going to, if I know in my mind, all right, I'm going out with my friends, this is gonna be a crazy night, I'm gonna be up until fucking 4 in the morning, I'm not gonna sleep that much, I am really gonna try hard to make sure that I don't have to go to the gym the next day, because that's really, really bad. I did that when I was cutting. It was really rough, and it's possible, but if you don't need to do that, it's not worth it, dude. I get the whole, like, you know, there's no excuses type thing. I understand the mentality of it, and like building yourself up in that sense, like you're not gonna let anything get in the way, but dude, it's not benefiting you. It's if you are going for trying to get as much muscle as possible, there is no gain to doing that. There's no gain to it, because your body's already ripped down to shreds from the night before. All you're doing is tearing it down even more. You're just harming yourself at that point. And I make it sound more serious than it is. It's not gonna kill you, but it's not the most effective thing to do. So try and set it up so that you don't have to go to the gym the following day. A lot of people may disagree with me on that, but that's the way that I have done it, and that's the thing that has been the most effective for me. And then aside from that, just try and rest the following day, but still eat right. Make sure you're on diet, don't just eat fucking anything, but that's pretty much as far as, you know, the advice that I can give on that. And again, I mean this with sincerity. I am not the type of person, I want to keep reiterating it, I am not the type of person to encourage other people to drink. If you don't drink, fucking keep it that way, dude. Keep it that way. That's the best way to do it. If you don't like drinking, don't force yourself to like it. I've talked to people like that. They're like, I really wish I liked drinking. It's like, dude, you're fucking living life. You're able to go out and have fun sober, dude. That's way cooler. I'm just talking about from my perspective. Like, this is the stuff that I do. I'm giving the advice to other people, and they can do what they want with that information. In all seriousness, like, live your life, you know, to the fullest extent. Have fun, do these things, but don't let it, you know, don't let the partying and stuff become your life. And I never have. I know it might sound like I have, but I haven't. I've been successful with that throughout the whole time that I've kind of ended up falling into this like party fiend type mentality. It's never overtaken, you know, the things that I need to get done, the things that I want to get done, and the things that I want to get done and the things that I want to do are far more important than partying for me. And they're also more fulfilling. But it's okay to go out with your friends and have fun. That being said, I think that covers everything. I know this was all over the place. I'm gonna try and condense it down as much as I can, but this is probably gonna be like a 30-minute long video, so to be quite honest, I don't know when it's gonna get posted. But that is that. So if you guys made it all the way till the end, I really appreciate it. Remember to drop a like. As I said before, follow me on TikTok and Instagram. I post way more on there. I do want to get back into posting YouTube videos, but I haven't had anything that I really to post. Like I don't like putting out stuff that I don't like putting out. And I've said that a million times on my channel ever since I started posting videos when I was 12 years old. But yeah, that is all I got for this one. I will see you guys in the next one. Remember to subscribe, all that good stuff. Enjoy the rest of your day.